Oh, hey, welcome to the Vineyard. I'm just out here gleaning the fields. That's what the story of Ruth would have been about gleaning the field. You know, that it's a beautiful story about mothers. Here you have Naomi, and she's living in the region of Bethlehem, and there's a famine, and so they go down to Moab country, which is down below the Dead Sea. And it's Naomi and her husband and her two sons. And at times she gets two wives for her sons who are Moabites, Ruth and Oprah. And the husband dies. Well, 10 years later, so do the two sons. So now Naomi is left without her own children, and she has two then daughter-in-laws that she has with her. So she wants to go back up to her homeland because they say that the famine is over and things are getting better again. And so she tells her two stepdaughters that she's going to go ahead and go back. And she says, go back to your family, to your God, and to your people. And so Orpah, she does that. She goes back to her family. She says goodbye to Naomi and moves on with her life. But Ruth doesn't. And Ruth has these beautiful words that she has that as Naomi looked to her, she says, your sister-in-law has gone back to her people and her gods. Go back with her. But Ruth replied, don't urge me to leave you or to turn back from you. Where you go, I will go. And where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God will be my God. And where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. May the Lord deal with me, be it ever so severely, if anything but death separates you from me. And when Naomi realized that Ruth was determined to go with her, she stopped urging her. And so Ruth went back with her, and she was met with a lot of hardships because she was a Moabitist. The people there did not appreciate her. She would have been a curse on the land. And eventually, through time, if you read the story, as Boaz sees her as she's gleaning the fields, picking up the leftover grain and gathering that she might get a handful. And he has some of the men leave bigger chunks of grain there, and she picks them up and comes back. And of course, Naomi is saying, wow, there's something up with this. This man must like you. And so she goes to the threshing floor and sees his intent, and his intention was for her. And he makes a deal to take the land and to have Naomi and Ruth as his own. And he allows Naomi to live there, and Ruth and Boaz become one. And so this beautiful story about, though, the mother's love and a daughter's love for her mother. And as we glean the fields, we're talking about Mother's Day. And, here's the grapes right now. Here's the grapes right now. You can see this. I can pull away the branches. That's how big they are. Just little things, aren't they? Just tiny little baby grapes. But they're growing. And it's hard to imagine that these are going to become this one day, not too long from now. And then not too long from that, this will become this, which we will be having our first set of series of wine coming out this May. And Vineyard di Promessa is our label name. And so it's amazing how that grows and how it changes. And it just kind of reminds me, as you look at these little baby grapes, how moms took care of their children and cared for them. And how they had to do various things. Like for me, I have to prune some of these away so one doesn't take from the other. Fortunately, we don't prune our children away. But, we take care of them in every way and provide for them. And that's a true mother's love. That's what mothers do. That's how mothers care for their children from very early on. We don't begin to imagine what moms go through, from change of bodies to caring for, to nursing, to hormonal changes, from watching their babies grow up to being in some of the nastiest, stinkiest things that they throw up on us. They do the worst possible things imaginable, and we still take care of them and love them even more for it. We even kiss their feet, literally. Just amazing things what a mother's love will do. What a mother will do for even her daughter-in-laws. We see Naomi do for Ruth, and Ruth in exchange for Naomi. That where you go, I will go. And that's the relationship God wants for us, from a child to its mother, and to love her and to care for her. And this Mother's Day, I'm not sure when you're watching this, but even if it's past, you can always go back and remember all that your mother's gone through. Even if she wasn't the greatest mother in the world, and I had one of those, it doesn't matter, because they did so much more in between in the everyday experiences that we forget that all the mother's love means is not just the external gifts or the things that they do, but rather what's inside their heart and who they are, as they exemplify what it means to love God and to love Jesus Christ. For where Christ goes, we go. And where his love goes, so our love goes. And so I want to share a poem with you, and maybe you want to share it with your mom or just reflect upon it by yourself. But it goes like this. There was a time I lived inside. You brought me into being and kept me alive. Upon my arrival, I was laid upon your breast. You fed me and looked at me as though I was the best. You took my gifts of weeds and undefinable scribbles as though I had presented you with a prize unimaginable. You walked with me through every trouble and never gave up, for your mark was indelible. There will come a time when I will leave and venture out a life set before me. Too often I've forgotten the price you've paid, even down to the disfiguring your body for me to be made. So as I look back, I pray to God to help me remember to say thank you, Mom, for beginning this endeavor. For no matter how many things come my way, now you live in me to this very day. This is Pastor Chris Deknatel here at Promise Lutheran Church, podcast The Vineyard, wishing you happy Mother's Day. God bless.